Let's speak to Simon Miller. He's got the mic. We didn't really address him. He's been on already, but YouTuber and content creator and wrestler, Simon Miller. So no one messed with him, by the way. Nobody messed with him. He's coming up. I wasn't sure if you were going to come up or not. But,
come on. I haven't seen you guys in years.
That's right. There you go. That was my ridiculous face on Arsenal TV. The breakdown show that they do, and because I had the footage and because I want to talk about Arsenal Football Club, which I promised to do a few months ago and never got into a routine of it because my immune system sucks, I thought what a great way to pull the trigger on it. But yes, very, very cool. So actually a story about this. Before the pandemic hit, when obviously the world stopped, you may remember, if you've been a long time watcher of this channel, I used to do this kind of stuff all of the time. I used to go in and do the post-show, the mid-show, and the pre-show for all Arsenal football games.
Got it spot on, really. Especially when you remember what it was before the game. Before the game, there was just a tinge of worry where you would have taken anything to get through, scoreline redundant, as long as you get through to the next round. And yet, it was a very assured performance.
And it's actually a show I was meant to be on. I was meant to be on the Manchester City again, one of those. And that was the same day when Arteta tested positive for the coronavirus, I believe, or sometimes around that. So Arsenal were like, oh, we guess we have to stop this game. And then the Premier League stopped and the world stopped. And it was an absolute nightmare. It was absolutely terrible. And very, very nicely, they've got a brand new team there with some old members as well. And they got in touch with me and they said, Sam, we've kind of changed it now, but do you want to come down to the Emirates? Do you want to be part of the fan panel? We'll have a chat with you, so on and so forth.
Xhaka, I think it's awesome that Vieira's in today, because if he has a good performance, then like you just said, Adrian, all of a sudden it's just, well, now everyone is actually fighting for places. So I actually think if you have a good performance today, this then kicks on to the next game and the game after that, because everybody can raise their game and say to Arteta, no matter who it is, I can... Imagine Vieira gets a hat-trick or something today.
And you're going to see clips interspersed with this video. And I was like, you bet your ass I do. Because not only is it great to do, and not only was it good to see Adrian Clark and my man Nick Bright, they're super nice people, and you know all the other people that I kind of know behind the scenes. I was there at that Bournemouth game. Now, if you're into football, you know what I'm talking about, soccer, for my American friends. If you haven't seen it, but you just like to listen to me rant and rave, which I always appreciate, it was crazy. Like, so we finished doing the pre-show stuff, and I went to the toilet. I needed the toilet. My bladder was telling me to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom. But when I came out, all the Bournemouth players were celebrating. And I was like, well, surely this can't be a goal. Like 8 seconds had passed. But no, Bournemouth scored in 8 seconds. And as you know, again, if you did tune into it, Bournemouth got a second before Arsenal came 2-1, 2-2. And they scored in the 97th minute of injury time. Now, if you're not an Arsenal fan, you'd be going, Simon, you shouldn't be talking about this. Can't believe it went to 97 minutes, because on the board, it said only 6 minutes. So to kind of jump across right into the football talk, I was there. I was watching it live. And you can call me biased, but actually I'm very unbiased when it comes to football. The Bournemouth players... I've never seen such time wasting in my life. Now, look, if I was a Bournemouth fan, I would absolutely love it. It's called the dark side of the game, the dark arts. But they were going crazy with this, so there's no way there wasn't at least an extra 60 seconds of extra time there. But that's the cool thing about it. I got to see an amazing football game, probably the maddest game of football that I'll ever see in my entire life. And because you get to be in one of the executive boxes, because they film it in the box itself, so you get to go and sit in one of the cool seats. It was amazing watching. I had amazing... front-facing views. When Arsenal were playing towards you, oh my gosh, I was like a child again. It was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, the game was incredible. I was going nuts. I got to celebrate with everyone when we scored in the 97th minute. And it was really one of those moments where you're like, this, not only is this why football's so damn good, but if Arsenal do indeed go on to win the Premier League, which I think... there's no reason why they can't. I know everyone's going to get up in arms about this, but as far as I'm concerned, if Arsenal don't win it, it will be on our shoulders.
It was a little bit of a capitulation at the end, right? But I think now we've learned from that. Like Zinchenko, especially the whole time, he's roaring on the crowd, he was going nuts afterwards, and that... if he's doing that, and behind the scenes too, no wonder they think they can win it. And I think now, after performances like that, when you grid it out, everyone should just... it doesn't even matter if we do or don't, like you said. We just should believe that we should, because we can.
I know we've got some hard games. We've got Liverpool away, we've got Man City away, we've got Newcastle away, we've got Forest away. Forest are very good at home. Terrible away, but they're very good at the what's it called, the Forest ground? No, it's not called that. I can't remember what Nottingham Forest stadium is called. And so, there are hard games to do, but ultimately, being 5 points clear of Man City while everyone else kind of jukes it out for other places, I do think it's on Arsenal's shoulders. But yeah, when that goal went in, I was like, well, no matter what happens now, I feel like I'm in part of something special. And if you've got your own team and you've got to see something similar live, you know what I'm talking about. But then the fact that you get to do the stuff afterwards and share it with the people not only in the studio, but watching at home. And look, I always love posting this stuff on my social media. Cheap plug at Simon316. Come give me a follow. Because instantly, you only get 2 types of responses. You get, Miller, I can't believe it. I hate you now. I'm going to unfollow you. Or you get, oh, I can't believe you're a gooner. This is the great thing ever. Now, you support who you support. I don't care. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, if you're a Tottenham fan, all right, you're allowed to be a Tottenham fan. There's no rules.
And you have a manager that invests in youth.
Yeah.
There's no way we won't go again. I'm sick and tired. Where is the camera? I'm sick and tired of all this. But there's so many
He's
people.
doing his wrestling bet.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Honestly, all these people are all like, oh, well, if they don't win it this year, they're screwed. No, I totally disagree. This is us getting back into that mix.
Yeah.
To the point, at the start of the season, maybe we will, maybe we won't, but the maybe is there.
Yeah. What about the two big guys? You're a big muscular guy yourself. But the two big guys, Gabriel and Saliba, you must be enjoying their partnership because I've been wanting a proper defensive partnership for years now. Probably since Koscielny Mertesacker. We haven't had that one every single week.
Yeah.
I love those two guys. I think they do a great job.
And if we go way back to sort of, turn the millennium when all the success was coming, what did we have? Solid backline, right?
Yeah.
And we absolutely were missing that.
I was going to say having a terrible season. You're not really. It's a very, very strange season because you're doing well, but there's also all these problems that are plaguing that club. Anyway, we're not talking about them today. I don't want to do it. But yeah, just a quick shout out to Arsenal for having me down. I really did appreciate it. I had a great time. I think we're going to do it again and make it a semi-regular thing, which gets me very, very excited. And I'm super excited about the season as well. I mean, this is 24 hours after the Fulham game where we just won 3-0. I mean, I was actually sort of watching it on my phone. And I just couldn't believe it. It was just like the most effortless first half ever. It was a bit like a Man City performance. And then in the second half, it was just like, well, that's done now. We've sewn it up. And I mean, Trossard with 3 assists, absolutely amazing. And everybody chipping in with the goals. And Jesus coming on with 13 minutes to go. And actually, doubly more exciting because Trossard came off in that Bournemouth game. He had a thigh problem, I believe. And everyone was like, oh man, well, that's no good. And I think Nketiah is still injured. Did we see him yesterday? I can't remember. But that's not the worst situation and not the worst position to be in with Gabriel Jesus coming back into the team. A proven winner. He wasn't like prolific or anything like that, but what he brought to the team, he allowed other people to score goals. And I still totally believe, I said this at the time, I'll say it now, he will start to score more goals once he rebeds back in. Maybe not this season now because he's had a knee injury, but going forward, he absolutely will become like a 12, 15 plus goal man a season. I totally think that. So look, it's been awesome to watch this season because I don't think anybody expected this. Even getting to the Champions League positions, I think, would have been a huge success. But to also now be back kind of affiliated with the club on a small level, I'm not trying to, overblow this. Although at the same time, it's a really cool gig to get because I can't even explain. I guess the best way to explain it was when I first met my girlfriend's father. He was fascinated by everything that I did because I explained the YouTube stuff to him. He was like, huh. I explained the wrestling stuff to me. He was like, huh. Then I explained all my extracurricular activities, such as Arsenal. And he was like, so just because you rant and rave about professional wrestling on YouTube, that's where the Arsenal connection came from, because they're big wrestling fans, and that's why I love them. Well, another reason that I love them. You now get to work for the team you loved as a kid. And I was like, yes, this is very true. I know I'm looking up here like he's 7'2", but that's just what we do. And he was he almost embodied my feelings about it because he was very perplexed, but also thought it was the coolest thing ever. And that's kind of how I see everything that happens. I'm perplexed, but I think it's the coolest thing ever. And the amount of people I've been able to hang out with. I mean, I won't name names because they may watch this. They may think it's weird. But on this show, over the years I have been doing it, there have been people that I used to collect in my Panini football sticker book. Was it Panini back then? Whatever it used to be. I know it's Panini now. So to meet them and get on with them and find out that they're super nice people, it's just cool. It really, really is. And especially to do it in this season where everything seems to be going right. I like it. I believe it's the FA Cup weekend this weekend. I don't think there's any Premier League games before that, but I could be totally wrong. But everyone's going to be... Actually, there's 2 games that I'm looking at. Obviously, Man City away at the Etihad. I mean, we come away with that from a draw, and I think it's absolutely gigantic. But the Liverpool game I've got an eye on too, because it is at Anfield, and we've seen what they can do. They absolutely wrecked Manchester United, but then they go to Bournemouth, and they lose. I mean, I know it was 1-0. I don't know who was home and who was away saying that, because I was just listening to it in the background as I got on. But you don't know what type of Liverpool you were going to get. And Liverpool have always been a bogey team for Arsenal, which you will know if you are a Gooner. But we did, we showed real class and real fight to beat them earlier in the season. But there are 2 games, again, if you go to Anfield to get a draw, I think it's solid. I mean, technically, we should win based on form, but, you've got to look at it for the way it is. Absolutely a draw against City would be amazing. Going to Newcastle is hard because St. James's Park, a crazy, crazy atmospherical ground. I think you probably do need to win that one, but I think we're capable of it. And then Nottingham Forest, I know, they're not doing well and they're in the relegation battle. But they're quite far away from it now. And again, they do have good home form. So by that point, if they have slipped a little bit, again, I don't know what their games are beforehand, they may be desperate for a win. Because they are good at home, you don't know what they're going to produce. So I thought I'd use this as my way to start talking about football again. We did that Manchester United video last year, and I am going to start talking about it. I'll try and get them more timely as well, because I get that football is a very reactive sport. And I guess we can talk about the match of the day and Gary Lineker stuff. I mean, I think the whole thing has been absolutely absurd. If the BBC had just shut up about it, it would have got away by now. But look, Lineker's back for the FA Cup game this weekend. I think you should be able to say whatever you want on Twitter as long as you're not going absolutely bonkers. And let's be fair, if you're... I don't want to get too into politics. That's not me on this channel, which is kind of ironic. But if you saw that Conservative policy about immigration and thought, well, then, well, maybe we shouldn't have a chat any time in the future. We'll shelve that. I'm just glad that it's done. But yes, any ideas that you may have, drop a comment below. The cool thing about this is I am building a little set over here. You know what, I won't tell you about it, but it's going to make these videos really cool. Otherwise, like the video, share the video, and subscribe. There will be a video on the screen. Please do give it a click. Otherwise, gridmind.com/Simon. Just go to Simon, get 10% off. There's a link in the description. I know we most do fitness videos on this channel. These are the supplements I use. I think they're great. Patreon.com/Simon316. If you want to support me with money, it's Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter. I think I'm repeating myself. I've got merchandise, wrestling merchandise, fitness merchandise. Again, all the links are down there. I'm on Cameo if you want a personalized message. Love doing those. They're always a barrel of laughs. Otherwise, just interact with the video as much as possible. That's always appreciated. Thank you for joining me as always. Thank you very much for Arsenal Football Club for giving me a terrific day. I can't wait to be back with you very soon. And again, we will talk about all of this and more. Take care. See you soon.